Hey guys, my name is Mike, or Michael. We're here today with Cullen for another story time. How did I get into cars? I want to say I started getting into cars with my dad, but it wasn't really modifying. It was more of how things worked and doing a lot of repairs, because as I was growing up, my dad always bought multiple cars to, make some money off of. Fix this, fix that, and he always explained to me how things work. And growing up, I was more into trucks, like Toyota pickups, straight axle swaps, and all that. And as I started getting older, I met a great group of friends that are really into Hondas. And we went through so many phases through cut bumpers, gutted interior, just big old front lips and splitters and wings. Each of their own, by all means. I don't mean to dog nobody. And I felt at home. It was something I liked with the passion. I didn't feel like I had to fit in with people to hang out with them. And it did help a lot that a lot of my friends are great people to be around. And these cars just brought us together. It's hard to explain. It can get a little emotional for me. I definitely love a lot of my friends, basically all of them. I'm also a member of No Name Gang, aka NNG. What I really like about the car shows is we gather around as a group, and it's always a no love lost thing because we have work, family, all our older responsibilities to take care of throughout the week. But as we all get together, it's a wonderful feeling you just can't explain. And throughout the week, when everybody's always busy doing what they have to do, we always got our cars to the side. And it's like a way to express how we are. It expresses our taste, as in, oh, he has those wheels, oh, he has those type of tires. And the way it's presented also shows the quality we like. Over here I got a 2001 Honda Integra Type R DC5. And it is not an RSX. I previously had a DC2 Type R. It was my high school car. I'd say I kind of ruined it because I went through phases of gutted interior. I don't need this, I don't need that. First car I ever rolled fenders with, and it was a little bit of bacony, but it was something I had to present who I am. Like, I had music, and my friends love music, so I definitely had a nice stereo in there. My favorite wheels of all time were always Advent RG1s, and those were the wheels I had on it too. And long story short, this car came into place, and I couldn't say no. Some people say, oh, you got it for the clout because it's right-hand drive, or it's still a Type R, whatever. I do this stuff because I honestly feel I genuinely have a passion for this whole Honda thing. These cars taught me a lot about, I want to say, friendship. I mean, of course they're cars, so you learn things about being a mechanic, doing motor swaps, doing clutch jobs, rebuilding transmissions, motors. I've had my fair amount of doing them too. But I guess when I got older, I feel like stock reliability is best. But as I said earlier, each of their own. But having these cool cars definitely taught me a lot of principles in life. I have people that come up to me and straight up say, oh, where's your car? Or where did you park? And then I have real friends that come up to me and say, hey Mike, how are you doing? And we definitely talk about cars, about wheels, and new spoons came out. But there's always beyond cars that we always love to talk about. And what I'm going with this is, I'm glad that my car or my cars brought me the friends I have now. It definitely also taught me to pick your friends wisely. So the modifications I've done to this car, I did 17 by 9 34 offset magnesium blue TE37s I bought from ICB. Got them also with the center caps. I did Project Mu rotors with Club Racer pads. I was going through a bit of I was really picky about suspension. Everyone's telling me to buy TNs and then Buddy Clubs or H&Rs, and I wanted to try something different that nobody in the group had yet. So I tried K-Tune street coils, and they ride pretty smooth. Like, I can have my mom in the car and it's pretty comfortable. And engine-wise, I have a MFAB titanium intake made by Mike, and it's arguably my favorite piece to the car. I also got a Vision Tech carbon fiber intake. The car had a ARC inspired valve cover, but I wanted to keep the original nostalgic Type R look to it and found a OEM Type R wrinkle red valve cover. Car also came with a Ganador strut bar, and other modifications I did is I did K Pro V4 with Bluetooth, but I just downloaded a stock map. I don't know if I'm really interested in taking it into the rollers and get a tune. I'm honestly happy with how the car performs. And for stereo, I got a Pioneer in-dash. I got Infinity speakers all around, and Memphis 1001 amp and sub, because I definitely love my music. I was also influenced by my dad by that. We love our qualities in audio. And for lug nuts, I did Project Mu lug nuts, but they're not the floating ones, because I was a bit on a budget, and I just wanted to make it in for Week Fest. Other than that, the car is basically stock. I mean, I did like LED lights here and there, but I do want to say I'm pretty happy. It is a genuine Type R, so it has like Type R front, rear, side skirts, power folding mirrors, stock Recaros, and it also has a suede headliner. Probably previous owners put it in there. I'm not really sure, too educated about that. But my previous car taught me that being simple can go a long way, because your nostalgic 2000s or 90s Hondas will never go out of date. And I kind of noticed in the whole car community that a little bit of stock is coming back, or OEM Plus, like optional look kits and all that. A little more goodies the car has is I got a Momo short hub, suede Mugen steering wheel. I got a Mugen twin loop, just the axle back. It still has a stock header, cat, and all that. And a Mugen shift knob. I wanted to keep it pretty simple. Like I said, I'm pretty content, and this is the first of many cars I've had where I don't feel it's necessary for me to keep digging in, because like I said, our group of friends we talk more about things out of the car community, and hopefully I could purchase a house someday. I don't want to get too far into detail with that, but they did teach me a lot about future things in life that can be more important. And that's it for modifications on the car. It's pretty simple. It's all stock. As you can see, I got the Advan decal on the fender. I know there's always a next step up to buying new cars or upgrading, but a good friend of mine sold me this car more out of love, and nothing beats sentimental value to me. Yeah, I could keep the car and maybe buy something else, maybe an NSX in the future, but I like being a lot more simple now. I prefer to be personally known by many people than to be known by just my materialistic things. Let's see. What else should we talk about? I don't have any more plans to modifying this car, but the biggest plan I do have with this thing is definitely to always enjoy driving it. It's been more than reliable to me since I've had it in October of last year. I've never thrown a check engine light and never left me stranded. I've never had any suspension failures, engine failures, none of that, and I'm pretty happy and content. Like, I've driven all the way from, let's say, Mukilteo for a party and went all the way down to Federal Way for another party. I had the AC on full blast, which is pretty amazing. And that's a luxury I didn't have on my previous car because the car didn't come with any AC equipment. And it's just so comfortable inside. I can definitely appreciate the luxuries of full interior, and the car is really quiet. I can have a passenger with me and have a full-on conversation. And it gets pretty loud when VTEC hits, of course, but I just have a simple axle vac and intake, as I stated before. With this whole Honda thing, like the style of it, teaching me qualities, I want to say Gramps taught me a lot. If you guys are tuning in with Cullen's story times, Don has the purple DAP EK with the gold Advent RG1s. NNG is, we're not just a car group. We don't have a name. We definitely kick it outside of the car things. Like my boy Thomas in Tacoma, he has a pretty sick EG hatch. I'm always more than welcome to go to his house. They'd always cook me dinner with Kylie. I got Frankie over here behind the scenes eating a bag of chips just to, you know, have his presence here and just enjoy things like this. They taught me a lot about, like I said, I'm probably repeating myself, but they taught me a lot about the qualities of putting a car together. And a friend Herbert of mine also taught me that you can have all the nicest parts in the world, but if it's not presented properly, you're not really going anywhere. Like, there's always function and form, and let's say you got a really nice set of wheels, but you buy really cheap Nakang tires. It's like, what's the point of that? But you're also wanting to give a functional look, but you don't have tires to present it as what you really want to do. And body lines are definitely a big pet peeve to me that Tim taught me. And my car, to me, says a lot of who I am as a person. Some advice I'd give to anyone that's starting to get into the whole Honda scene is, I said earlier, your car will represent who you are. I'm not gonna tell you to buy this, buy that. Do as you please. Like I said, I'm kind of over the whole build thing. It's because I've already done it. I'm not gonna tell the next guy, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do that. I'm gonna say, do what you want. Experience it. You're not gonna learn unless you try to do it yourself. Okay, if you fucked up your first motor, I did. Whatever, I did it though. I fucked up my second motor, my third motor. But what did it teach me? It taught me higher qualities in how to put a car together. Just let it pass by. Like, I get it. You start off young, you start off with Rotas or STRs. It's a building process. Like, you can't just build something overnight. And it's really nice to take your time and give your full effort into something that you really like. You could do this as like a side hobby because, you know, you just wanted to find a hobby, or you want to be like your friends, or like me, you could do it out of passion, out of love. Blood, sweat, and tears is like a full definition of, let's say, your car not turning out how it wants to be, or you don't make it to your deadline to a car show. You're busting knuckles in the garage. It's super hot at night. and you're just so stressed out that you decide to cry. It happens. It's a car, but it's your passion. It's just something you have to experience to understand. So there's always a lot of cars out there that can heavily influence you. You could really like slam cars that are stance, or you could have cars that are at a little higher of a height. I mean, I guess kind of like mine's, where it's just fender to tire, or you could have a lifted Miata, but that's just an inside joke. But enjoy what you build. Jump in and go, gather your friends. It's the best feeling ever when you're driving free-spirited. It's so hard to explain in person or verbally that you just have to do it yourself and understand. To me, it's something I can't explain either. It's just so amazing. There's always other things you could do, like people are into raving, or they're into, let's say, they're really into what? Rock climbing. I'm really into cars. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I feel like if you personally know me, you hear my name Mike and you instantly think, oh, Mike that likes cars. And your car will also give you a name for yourself eventually, because it represents who you are. And driving something that represents who you are is also going to include in your driving style. There's so many styles into driving where you could kick the clutch, you could power shift, or if you're boosted, you just really know when to, you know, get on the gas and just hear that wastegate open. It's weird. Your cars will always have its own personality, and nobody will understand but yourself. And the only way you'll understand is if you get into a car that you built and you drive it yourself.